This presentation is brought to you by Arizona State University's Julianne Wrigley Global Institute of Sustainability and a generous investment by Julianne Wrigley.
Sadly, I hear every day stories about families struggling because we have a full-out affordable housing crisis. Actually, affordable housing in the U.S. right now is at the worst point in modern history in terms of the ability for that median income family to afford the median home, mortgage or rent in their community. There is virtually nowhere in the United States now where a full-time minimum wage employee working 40 hours a week can afford a one-bedroom apartment. A report released last summer indicated that here in Maricopa County, renters making minimum wage had to work 58 hours a week to afford a one-bedroom apartment. And then think if you have a family, if you have broader needs, and then if you add in utilities and transportation. So our focus at Habitat for Humanity is on helping low-income families, many of whom struggle each day just to survive. But we have reached a point that really is unsustainable from a community perspective, where rents have become so misaligned with income. It's actually much worse than before the recession. And what's happened since the recession is incomes have done this, for especially the bottom half of our society, and housing prices have done this because land prices have accelerated so fast. You've heard the horror stories. San Francisco, I think, is reaching sort of crisis territory where the average one-bedroom rent is $3,000 a month. So how does that work in terms of a society where only people making $150,000 to $200,000 can live in the city? And Chicago families need to be earning roughly $90,000 a year to afford the average rent for a two-bedroom apartment. And buying a home can be equally challenging. We've seen the credit box shrink, and it's incredibly hard for low-income families to save enough for down payments to be able to qualify for mortgages. If you looked at the list of the most expensive cities, it wouldn't surprise you: Los Angeles, New York, Boston, San Francisco at the top. Phoenix is now 20th, and this was a city that historically was quite affordable. And Phoenix is right on the edge of being designated severely unaffordable. It's now only seriously unaffordable. I guess that's good. Could be worse. But to compound the problem, not just low-income families, but essential service workers, like firefighters, teachers, entry-level government workers, and hospital service workers, find it impossible to live near their places of work in the communities they serve. And we're seeing this, I think, really troublesome trend of increasing economic segregation, where cities used to be melting pots that brought people across incomes together and often had manufacturing and work in the city. Increasingly now what we're seeing is economic segregation, lots of people having to drive or travel long ways to get to their workplace, which actually is bad for everybody. And we see it even more in the international arena, where families are driven out of urban centers into often informal settlements and slums out on the peripheries of cities. And with that, we get a whole myriad of social ills. It's not sustainable to have a world in which only the wealthy can live. So we need to focus on community development that meets the needs of all residents. And creating affordable housing opportunities is one critical component of that process.
This presentation is brought to you by Arizona State University's Julianne Wrigley Global Institute of Sustainability for educational and non-commercial use only.